So, good evening, all you MRS fans out there. This is our MRS Drivers interview for Season 2, Drivers interview number 5. And for tonight, may greet Mr. Ryan Price. Hello to you.
Hi, Seb, right?
Then we have Stefan Williams. Good
Hi,
evening
Seb.
to you. And Stephen Hodgetts. Very welcome.
Evening.
Hello. So, all my questions more or less go out, more or less likewise to every one of you. And so let's just, move through my few interviews, so my few questions. And the first one, let's start with Ryan Price again. The first one, who is Ryan Price?
Well, I'm from South Wales. I've got into F1 I started watching it when I was about, 15, 16. And then I stopped watching for a few years, got back into it. I think I started playing the game in 2016, F1 2016 was the first time I started playing it. And this is the first year I've done like online league racing. And yes, really enjoyable. I'm enjoying it so far. So yeah, I love it.
Who are you fan of, or which other sports are you into?
So I've played football since I was about 5 or 6. I've played that all my life. I played a bit of rugby as well, but I enjoy watching a lot of sports, to be honest. But football and rugby are the main ones. I played football with Steve and Stefan for a few years.
Cool.
Until Steve left, and I played with Steph when we were younger, but he hasn't played recently, so yeah.
Okay. And in Formula One, is there anyone or any team that you cheer for?
This year, I think McLaren, because I think Ricardo and Norris were probably my favourites last year, and then being in the same team just naturally makes me want to support McLaren, to be honest.
Okay. Well, interesting. Same question goes out to you, Stephen Hodgetts.
Well, that's a very good question. So, pretty much the same. I got into F1 games for 2017 because it was free on the PS Store, and I was bored of FIFA. Only really watched last season. So when we all watched Drive to Survive on Netflix, is only really season 2 that I end up I know what's going on. Season 1, obviously, with all the super softs and all the other tyres, that was the year before me. Went to Italy in 2019 for my 21st, so that was my first real experience of it all. Just played FIFA, football and FIFA all my life. Played with Pricey, played with other teams. Really.
So you are more or less a newer Formula One fan, if I got it right.
I only really started watching it last year. In terms of watching all the races and really getting to grips and really understanding. I always wanted to learn it, but it was, it probably seems quite complicated. First, owning all the components, parts of an engine, but then the game makes it quite simple, to be fair, and it is pretty much as it is. So
That's
it's not bad.
That's very interesting, because we have a few of rather new Formula One fans in MIS, and generally I think that is good, because it shows that the community grows. But for me, that's so strange, a little bit. It feels like so. What? I'm a lifelong Formula One fan. I played the first Formula One game before I could read. So, for me that's a bit strange, but okay, it's okay. That's why we're here for, to get to know you guys. We have still one man missing. Who is Stephen Williams?
Seb, you can never get my name right.
That's hell true.
I've been a Formula One fan since 2009. My father has supported Formula One for a very, very long time. He's been to the British Grand Prix many years ago. He went there for qualifying one day with one one of his friends. And he got me into it in 2009. The first championship I watched was watching Jenson Button win the championship with Braun. Obviously, Braun's only season and only
That's
win.
a crazy year, yeah.
Watching Jenson and Barrichello that year were just absolutely incredible. That car was an absolute beast. The F1, I think I started watching properly each week since then, I think. Certainly in recent years, from about 2017 onwards, I started playing the games. And just really got into Formula One. Not just watching the sport itself, I think the community itself is great. It's a very well-respected community, which I love.
Speaking about your name, that was a topic for me too, so that is written on my note sheet likewise. First, I want to say I'm sorry, because,
okay.
This is a name where it's not a typical English name that you just learn to pronounce, because your name is just exactly the same way in my native language, in German, and it's spelled right that way. So how is it pronounced properly?
So my name is pronounced Stefan. So you actually pronounce the F.
Stefan. Okay.
I was named after an old tennis player, Stefan Edberg.
Okay.
So that's where my name comes from.
Okay. So thanks for all the information. Now we have a little bit of a picture who you guys are. Second thing, each one of you. Let's start with Mr. Williams. Let's just call you Mr. Williams. What is your biggest racing success?
I think for me personally, I think in the season last year, in our first MRS season, when we went to Sochi, I remember it was a very, very wet qualifying. I think none of us really liked that race, I don't think. I'm not really that great in the wet. I do tend to not be able to get the accelerator down as smoothly as I would like, and often end up spinning my tyres. Qualifying second in that race was fantastic, and then finishing second as well in the race, which for me it was a very hard race. I had a lot of fast drivers behind me, the likes of Simo, Don Walsh, all those kind of people behind me. So I think that for me, on certainly gaming, that was my biggest success for me, because I just wasn't expected at all.
You were sitting in the Alpha Tauri, right?
Yes.
Last year, yeah, exactly. Okay, well, thanks. You had another second place lately, isn't it?
I did.
But that's gonna be a topic a little bit later. Biggest race success, Ryan Price.
We say the most recent one, to be honest. Where was it? China, wasn't it? I think I got 5th. I think that's the highest I've had so far. Because I started to struggle with the traction control, because when I first started playing all the games, I never really changed the traction control. I always played on full. So getting used to medium took me a while. And last season, I was always in and around the top 10, just outside the top 10. So getting 5th last week was quite good. So we had a few laps left, and I had Don Walsh just behind me, who we obviously know is a very good racer. And I had Mike just in front of me, and I was on fresh softs, so I think I could have caught up with Mike and took over him, but I damaged my front wing. So then after that, I was just straight on the defence from Don Walsh, but obviously he went past me because he's way better. And then I just had to defend from the people behind me then, so I managed to hold on to 5th, so I think that was my best race so far.
Okay. Interesting. And the last question, or the last person to answer it, I know which 2 races you could have in mind. I am just very interested now, which one of those 2 are your biggest race success, Stephen Hodgetts?
Those 2 lucky ones. Yeah. Very lucky ones.
It's got to be Bahrain. It's just got to be.
I expected so, yeah, okay.
I mean, obviously, first win. I mean, the other 2 can't really relate. But we all are in a party when we're racing. The 3 of us are at the front. Price had 1 safety restart. I think I had 2. Obviously he was not holding people back for me, but I was like, oh, go on, just hold him back a bit here or there. But Yeah, I mean, going into that race, I wouldn't say Bahrain was wasn't a track I was particularly good at. But I mean, we all know, obviously, towards the end, Simo didn't gun for glory as much, unless I made a mistake. But
oh yeah,
at the end of the day, yeah, if you go for the wrong move, you take two people out. I mean, we were still, although it was Christmas liveries, we were still in the same team, weren't we?
yes, right. We had the Christmas livery, right? I have depicted the Ferrari you were sitting in last year, but you didn't even sit in this Ferrari when you won your first race.
No,
it was a
and
crazy race.
Australia was just Australia.
Yeah,
Was just,
yeah,
just
exactly,
luck, really.
exactly.
Just pitted at the right time, and then guy in front of me crashed.
I remember both races very, very vividly. Bahrain, to sometime middle of the race, there was a safety car phase, and I thought, okay, Scuba is leading the restart. He has the best tire. Okay, he could be a potential winner. And in Australia was really crazy with Mikko Caruso, I don't know, throwing it away. When? 3 laps before finish?
Oh, it was 2 laps. It felt felt like
very,
a lot
very
more.
crazy. Very, very crazy.
Yeah, I just saw bits of front wing flying over the top of me, and that was it. He went too deep into turn 3 or whatever it was, and that was
in the
that.
rain.
Yeah, I see Dom. I was about 8 seconds in front of Dom. Just saw that ticking down, but there's only so much you can catch up, or so much I can be slow. Made it took it nice and slow around all the corners where I could spin off, but sealed the win.
So let's stay with you. How was your last season in general? What was your best? Okay, we had that best, and what was your worst moment, maybe?
The worst would have to be the first race when I joined from the Facebook group. We were all in the big Formula One Game 1. Was on my own. It was before I got the boys in and Ryan Fear. I remember coming out of qualifying, obviously, medium traction control. I was like, oh, I'll be fine. Buried the throttle into turn 1 and just spun. And I was like, oh. So I didn't do any preparation. I was like, oh, this will be easy. And then in the race, I ended up hitting like 3 or 4 times. We had to do a restart, I think, there was a safety car restart. We basically did a Mugello, wasn't it? The back just piled into the front. There was a massive pile up. Didn't go very well. It was dry, so I pitted like 5 times in the whole race, and 1 time because I was panicking with the little bottom. I ended up putting on full wets in the dry, so that was pretty horrific race. But yeah, that would probably be it. But
Okay. How was your season? What was your best or worst moment, Mr. Williams?
My season was actually okay. I finished 4th in the championship, which was very, very respectable for my first competitive season on Formula One gaming. And I'd have to say my worst moment, I would have to say, I don't know if anyone remembers, but Abu Dhabi last season.
I'm not sure if I was in MS already to that time.
We started the race. I qualified in 2nd, I think, just behind Simo. A great qualifying in Abu Dhabi. And I was coming around the long sweeping right-left just after the first corner, and just completely lost my car on the curb and just completely shunted my car into the wall, and I managed to flip in the air.
That sadly is very, very easily possible on that spot of the track.
Yes, I think that's probably. I was quite annoyed with myself because after having a great qualifying, I'd been in a good position as well, so I was quite disappointed with that. But yeah, it was an early DNF, which I wasn't happy with.
But generally, you were satisfied with the year.
Yeah, I was. Cause especially my first competitive season in gaming. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks. Same question to you, Ryan Price.
I don't know about my best last season. I had a pretty consistent season. I think me and Stefan joined a few races late. I think about 2 races late. I think me and Stefan joined. I think my worst one was probably Austria last season. I went into the C. Dickey. Remember him? He went off the track, came back on. I just went straight into the back of him, ruined my hot lap. So it was that, and then I think it might have been raining for the race. I'm not sure, but I remember I had to pit quite a few times because of wing damage and etc. So, and Austria is one of my favorite tracks, so that was probably one of my worst ones because I was expecting a good result and it was a pretty poor race. So that was probably my worst one. But other than that, I didn't really have a highlight. I was just consistently within from 7th to 12th kind of. So yeah.
And generally spoken, how satisfied have you been with the last season and the result?
I think I could have got a bit higher, but I just made a few mistakes, spun off, started to give up a few races because I wasn't doing too well. But I think this season I'm enjoying a bit more. I'm doing a bit better because I've got used to the traction control and racing with this group of people because they're all clean racers and they're all good racers. So I think I'm expecting to at least finish in the top 10 this season.
Okay. We will watch that. We will watch that very closely. So let's stay with you for the moment. What do you think about your new team?
I am very happy with my new team. I think we're second or third in the constructors.
It's Mercedes, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm with Rockstar. Yeah, I'm getting carried. Rockstar's Mirko's a very good racer, and I'm glad to be with him because I think we could have got a few points in the last race in China, but he spun out chasing Stefan. So I think we could have got second in the constructors after last week, but obviously he spun out. But other than that, he's been carrying me, so I can't really complain.
Yeah, still 19 rounds to go to settle this question. Same to you, Stefan Williams. What do you think about your new team?
Actually, being in the Haas is actually quite nice. It's a very nice car to look at from the cockpit.
Okay,
it looks
interesting.
very, very nice. The engine sound as well sounds really nice. And yeah, I'm happy with Simon. He's been quite consistent so far. He's a very clean racer, which is also very important, especially in league racing. So yeah, I'm happy.
I'm trying to get the cockpit view here in the game. So I have the Haas depicted and trying to get in your view and trying to see why you think that it's very nice to watch it. Okay, you are, I think, the only person I have ever heard who likes the Ferrari engine voice or sound.
Yes, I do like it. Yeah, I do like it.
Okay, interesting. I don't know if you watched last week because both David Lawson and Jarne van der Bril said exactly the opposite. But okay, that's how it is about taste. So last one, Stephen Hodgetts. Thoughts about your new team?
Can't really complain. Obviously, we all know Dom's. Well, he's a champion, obviously. Last year, I mean, we obviously didn't know each other at the time, so I remember just joining, being told, right, you're Leclerc, and obviously just pick your driver when you come in, obviously. And then I was like, whoa, obviously Simo's pretty good, and then I was getting carried, and then obviously can't really fault Dom. I mean, I've just got lucky 2 years in a row, I guess. I mean, I did see in his interview, he said, he thought we would be up there. Obviously I haven't raced since the first week, and I didn't put my setup on because of the restart, and I forgot to do it. So that was like turning a double-decker bus. Obviously, I watched the China race, and Dom probably wasn't as high as he would have liked to have been. What was it, 5th or 6th, 4th, something like that?
Yeah, 4th in China.
Right, okay. Well, for his standards, I'm sure he'll be kicking himself with that one. But yeah, I mean, like in Hungary, if he came up behind me, and he's obviously the faster racer. He's gunning for the top. So, like with Simo, I'll always get out the way. I know I'm the second driver. So
okay. Do you feel demoted out of Ferrari down to Alfa Romeo?
I mean, that car did grow on me. I didn't like the Ferrari sounds.
Okay.
When I see other people in it, I'm a bit like, can't say I'm too happy. But, I mean, the Alpha's not that bad. It's not that bad a car to look at either. I mean, the livery this year is quite nice. Obviously, I know we're playing on the old game, but yeah, it's not too bad.
Staying with you, how do you think the season has gone thus far for you? Well, you have been with us just once, isn't it?
Yeah, just the once. Obviously, I will be racing on Wednesday, where it all began.
That's good.
Yeah, I just forgot to put the setup on, like I think Steph did as well, because the lobby crashed in this, so I went to restart and just forgot to put the setup on, and that was that. So it wasn't very good, but we move.
Okay. So can only get better then. Season thus far for you, Mr. Williams.
It's gone okay, isn't it? I think sitting third in the constructors at the moment.
Let me check.
I think I've got
We
that wrong.
have a short look. Constructors.
I'm sitting not in the constructors. Third in the drivers. Sorry.
And the drivers. You are sitting in third. That's it. Yep.
Yeah, third in the drivers' championship, which I think at the moment is quite respectable. Considering I DNF'd in Hungary in the first race. So I think Vietnam for me was a great race. Having that qualifying ban from Hungary and finishing up in fifth on the back of the grid, which was very, very happy for me. And getting that second place in China last week was a good start of the season for me.
Two things about what you just said. There's you are third in the standings. Yes, that's the good thing. The bad thing is you just have half the amount of points than the leader does. That's the bad thing about it. And second, I was honored to announce the driver of the day who earns an extra point for this season. And I was rewatching the race in Vietnam, and I was thinking, wow, Williams did it, almost a podium, and I really wanted to give you the extra point, and then I realized that who was in third? Thomas Walsh, and he did just the same. So he came from the same starting row as you did, and then got to the podium. So I sadly had to give it to him, of course. You were very close. You were very close. Yeah. Season thus far, Ryan Price.
It's been a pretty steady season. I think I'm 10th in the Drivers' Championship.
Yes, so, you are.
Yeah, I think I'll be happy if I stay there, but I'm aiming for about 8th, 7th, 8th I'd be happy with. Because there's a lot of good drivers in that top 10, so if I stay amongst that, I'll be pretty happy. But I've had steady results so far this season, and if I carry that on, I think I'll be happy.
Okay, so my sixth and last question, you more or less already everyone answered it, so I will just adopt it a little bit, because what do you guys think about the next race in Monza? Starting with you, Ryan Price, again.
Ooh, I am looking forward to Monza. I do like that track. It's a very quick track, a nice track to race on, and I'm sure a lot of others will say the same thing. So I think everyone will be quite quick on that track. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good challenge.
Okay. Well, we will see how the challenge is going down for you then. For you, Stefan Williams, what do you think about Monza?
For me, I think I'm quite quick on Monza.
Okay.
So for me, if I don't get a podium, I'll be unhappy.
Okay.
So.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So you know that I will invite everyone at least a second time, and we will talk about that the next time. It will take a few weeks, but we will talk about that. And so for you, Stephen Hodgetts, your expectations for Monza?
I mean, I just hope to get through turn one without really much damage. We all know how that turn one goes. 20 does not go into that corner. I mean, some people are going to lose some parts of the car. I just hope it's not me. I mean, we all know that.
I'm going to make sure it's you.
Being quite a quick track. Any pit stop is not very good.
Yeah.
Basically, costs more time, really. Doesn't, but it does. But yeah, really, just do that. Just hope my luck comes shining through, and I can get some in decent pull Alpha out the mud that we're in at the moment, find some form.
Okay, well, so my few questions are more or less answered then for the moment. Is there anything you guys want to bring in? Anything you want to add?
Not for me. I'm okay, I think.
No,
Just
not
that
at all.
Ryan Price is terrible at the game.
Okay. Okay, so statement set. Let's see how Ryan Price is gonna answer this in 2 days. You
I'll
three
die for
guys, thanks for being with me. Was a
very
pleasure, and
Cheers, Seb.
always nice these little conversations. It's not a real interview, just quite a nice chat amongst racing fans, I would like to say. Thanks for being with me, and
Cheers,
then
welcome.
have a nice evening, and then see you in Italy on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Thank you
Cheers,
very
Seb.
much.
Yeah,
Bye
see you
bye.
Wednesday.
Ciao.
Right, Seb.